Hola, welcome to my page. My name is Diana, and I'm the creator of the Vibe Podcast. I'm the creator and the host of this lovely, lovely indie podcast show. There's still a few episodes out there. You can listen to it on all major platforms, but we're currently on hiatus. And the reason is because I want to take it to the next level. For the last 4 years, the podcast has been therapy for me, recording from home and stuff like that. But there is a studio in Mount Vernon, New York that I'm very interested in. And so I've decided that not to podcast until I can fully invest into it. And as we move along in this journey, I'll have more information. Thank you all for liking the page. Thank you all for taking the time and listening to my madness. The last episode is Your Vibe Attracts Your Tribe. And I spoke on having to take care of my mother, and she has since passed away. So I'm going through it currently. Thank you to everybody that has sent their condolences, your well wishes. Thank you so much. But I am going to be reading a book on the podcast page. Yes, because this book, the topic on this book has a lot to do with the podcast. And actually, the reason why I decided on no events. I have been trying to do events for a few years, but it's been too dangerous. In one of my jobs, I was robbed, and at my last job, it was just too out of control. So I decided no events, no events, unless I have security. So again, that's going to take some time. But reading a book is free. This one is He's Just Not That Into You, and it's about dating. So the event that I wanted to do was speed dating, and unfortunately that didn't work out, but who knows what the future holds. So I'm going to hold on to this book and read it for you guys. He's Just Not That Into You. This is a book that later became a movie and has been very helpful for me in my journey. Wow. So when I first got this book, I was trying to use it as a self-help book to get over my beloved ex. But where I messed up was I continued dating. No, when you're heartbroken, you got to stop dating and you got to tend to your heart. And a lot of people think that tending to their heart is by moving on to the next relationship. That's a common mistake. And it usually ends up very bad, you know. So it says here for ages, women have come together over coffee, cocktails, or late phone chats to analyze the puzzling behavior of men. Greg Berend and Liz Tuccillo are here to say that despite good intentions, you're wasting your time. Men are not complicated, although they'd like you to think they are, and there are no mixed messages. Hmm, I don't know about that. The behavior in men in 2025 is very very weird to say the least. I no longer date. I'm gonna make 5 years celibate, guys. Yay, 5 years. 5 years because what you guys call dating, I call tricking. And you actually got to pay for that behavior. You're not going to get that from me for free. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would rather not date than to be involved what is out there today. It says, because the truth is, maybe he's just not that into you. And it's based on a popular episode of Sex and the City. He's Just Not That Into You educates otherwise smart women on how to tell when a guy just doesn't like them enough so they can stop wasting time making excuses for a dead end relationship. I love this book. I've read it so many times. It's comical, um, truthful, and it even has exercise for you to do at the end of the book. Maybe he's just not that into you. We got to come to that realization that maybe he's just not that into it. People think because I'm pretty that everything is just easy. No, no, no. Sometimes I got to realize too that perhaps the person I might be interested is not interested in me like that, you know? It tells this book tells it like it is. All right. So let's get into it. The no excuse truth to understanding guys. Mm. And you thought women were difficult? Come on. And you thought women were difficult. All right. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is chapter one. He's just not that into you if he's not asking you out. So we live in a generation of this Miss Independent woman, and you, it's like the females are the ones inviting the guys out when it should. I'm old fashioned. If you want to date me, you have to ask me out. You don't. It's not me. It's not me asking you out. It should be the man asking the woman out. That's if you want to date me. Otherwise, you're not that into me, right? Obviously. Well, he's just not that into you if he's not asking you out. Because if he likes you, trust me, he will ask you out. Many women have said to me, Greg, men run the world. Wow, that makes us sound pretty capable. So tell me, why would you think we would be incapable of something as simple as picking up the phone and asking you out? You seem to think at times that we're too shy or we just got out of something. Let me remind you, men find it very satisfying to get what they want. And I feel like in today's generation is they want the woman fighting over them. They want the woman asking them out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of the generation that we're in today. Like the roles are reversed. And something that I was talking on the podcast was gender roles. Something happened. I'm flabbergasted actually because I can't explain the behavior in straight women and straight men. I can't explain this behavior. It's like the women are masculine and the men are feminine nowadays. And I know I'm not alone, but I'm just here in the background, like, you know what? I'll wait. I'll wait for when the time is right because I know if someone is interested in me, they'll ask me out. I know that. And people have asked me out, but if I'm not interested, I'm not going out with you. This was a fun topic for the podcast. It says here, particularly after a difficult day of running the world, if we want you, we will find you. If you don't think you gave him enough time to notice you, take the time it took you to notice him and divide it by half. Now you begin the life changing experience of reading our book. We have put the stories we have heard and questions we've been asked in a simple question and answer format. If you're lucky, you'll read the following questions and know what they are. Excuses that women have made for their unsatisfying situations. If you're not so lucky, we've also included handy titles to clue you in. For example, the maybe he doesn't want to ruin the friendship excuse. That's a funny one. Dear Greg, I'm so disappointed. I have this friend that I've known platonically for about 10 years. He lives in a different city and recently he was in town for work, so we met for dinner. And all of a sudden, it felt like we were on a date. He was completely flirting with me. He even said to me as he was checking me out, "So what, you're working the whole model thing now?" That's flirting, right? We both agreed that we should get together again soon. Well, Greg, I'm disappointed because it's been 2 weeks and he hasn't called me. Can I call him? He might be nervous about turning the friendship into romance. Can't I give him a nudge now? Isn't that what friends are for? It sounds like she's looking for something that he's not looking for at all. Dear friendly girl, 2 weeks is 2 weeks, except when it's 10 years and 2 weeks. That's how long ago he decided whether or not he could date a model or a girl who looks like one. Can you be a pal and give him a nudge? Nudge away, friendster. But watch how fast that nudge doesn't get a return phone call. And if your dinner date did feel different to him, it's been 2 weeks and he's had time to think about it and decide he's just not that into you. Here's the truth. Guys don't mind messing up a friendship if it could lead to sex, whether it be a fuck buddy situation or a meaningful romance. Go find someone that lives in your zip code who will be rocked to the core by your deep conversation and model looks. See, the author keeps it real, and I love it. I hate to tell you, but that whole "I don't want to ruin the friendship" excuse is a racket. And I've kind of fallen into that racket. Some guys want to keep you at bay for just in case situations. And that's not a real friend either, you see. It works so well because it seems so wise. Sex could mess up a friendship. Unfortunately, in the entire history of mankind, that excuse has never ever been used by someone who actually means it. If we're really excited about someone, we can't stop ourselves. We want more. If we're friends with someone and attracted to them, we're going to want to take it further. And please don't tell me he's just scared. The only thing he's scared of, and I say this with a lot of love, is how not attracted to you he is. And sometimes we need to really understand that. Really, you know. The "maybe he's intimidated by me" excuse. Mm, I've fallen into that too. But this book, I feel like, was written at a time where men were manly, confident. And today, it would be a different story. I think today's man would be intimidated. But that's just me. What do I know? Says here, "Dear Greg, I have a crush on my gardener. He's been potting the plants on my patio. It was hot. I saw him without his shirt on. He was hot, and now I'm hot for him. I brought out some beers and we talked. I think he wants to ask me out, but is afraid because he is my hired man. In this situation, can't I ask him out?" Again, I don't recommend that kind of situation at all. Dear, dear my secret garden, he's capable of asking you out. Haven't you ever seen a porno? Hope he gets there before the pizza guy. But seriously, if he didn't pick up the vibe after the beer garden, it has nothing to do with you being his boss lady. Time to stop and smell the bad news. He's just not that into you. Trust me, if a guy wants you, he's not going to care about his job that you both work together or he works for you. It's they not going to care about that. Let me say it again. Sexual harassment rules and workplace memos notwithstanding, a guy will ask out a woman of higher status if he's into her. He might need a little more encouragement than normal, I'll give you that. You might have to lead the Johnny the office boy or Philippe the exterminator to water, but you better not help him ask you out. Once again, ladies, a wink and a smile will do it. By the way, why are you dating the exterminator? Just kidding. He's a good guy. The maybe he wants to take it slow excuse. Mm. And let me tell you, that's a good excuse guys be using. They want to take it slow because, again, they want to keep you at bay for a just in case situation. And that's a sign that he's just not that into you. Dear Greg, this guy who calls me all the time, he's recently divorced and in AA. We got back in touch recently and had lots of phone calls and then hung out twice in 1 week, and it was real cool. No flirting or making out or anything but fun. Since then, he calls me all the time but doesn't ever suggest we see each other in person again. It's like he got scared or something. I would understand if it was because of the divorce, alcoholic, starting a whole new life stuff. He wanted to take things slow. But he still calls me all the time to have long heart to heart talks. What the hell should I do with this guy? Dear Pillow Talk, sadly, not wanting to see you in person is massive as far as dating obstacles go. And as far as the recently divorced, newly sober, starting new life parts, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting sleepy. It's hot. I'm going down for a nap. When I wake up from that nap, I'll probably thrill to the news that your friend is taking control of his life. You, however, will still not be going on a date because despite all your excuses for him, he's still not asking you out. Now, if you're a person who enjoys a slightly satisfying phone relationship, talk on. But at this point, it seems like he's just not that into you. Be his friend if you're at all interested on that level, but move your romantic inclinations onto a more suitable future husband. Yeah, just because you spend hours talking or texting doesn't mean he's into you. It could just be that. It could just be, you have nice conversations, and that's okay too. If a guy truly likes you, but for personal reason, he needs to take it slow, he will let you know that immediately. He won't keep you guessing because he'll want to make sure you don't get frustrated and go away. Now, me personally, am I talking to anyone? No. And this is what frustrates me because in a speed dating event I could have been involved and it could have been so much fun. I actually did speed dating many years ago and it was a lot of fun. You talk to people, a lot of people, you get to know each other, have a good time, but unfortunately due to safety concerns I couldn't do it. So I'll read a book instead. I'm just going to read a couple more paragraphs and leave it here. It's just that this book came up in rotation and I figured, oh, this is a good time to give a podcast life update. All right. All right. So let's do this. It says here this is a good one because females get gassed. It's very easy to gas up a female nowadays. The but he gave me his number excuse. That don't mean shit. Dear Greg, I met a really cute guy at a bar this week. He gave me his number and told me to give him a call sometime. I thought that was kind of cool. Then he gave me control of the situation like that. I can call him, right? Dear control freak, did he give you control or did he just get you to do the heavy lifting? It sounds like today's kind of guy. What he just did was a magic trick. It seems like he gave you control, but really, he now gets to decide if he wants to go out with you or even return your phone call. Why don't you take Copperfield's number, roll it in a newspaper, pour milk in it, and make it disappear? Give me a call, email me, tell Joey we should all hang out sometime. Don't let him trick you into asking him out. We live in a Miss Independent kind of world where females are asking men out. Me personally, I have to feel compelled to ask you. I don't really see myself asking a person out. And I feel like I have asked people out before, but obviously it hasn't worked out in my favor. I'm single. All right. It says, when men want you, they do the work. I know it sounds old school, but when men like women, they ask them out. All right. So I'm kind of in that realm. You ask me out. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to ask a man out. Would I look like asking a man out? All right, one more. The maybe he forgot to remember me excuse. Then we have females that they just make an excuse for every little thing. It's very wild right now out there. Something in the water. It's something in the water. All right. Dear Greg, okay, Greg, listen to this one. I was at a conference for work and met a guy from another branch of my company. We hit it off immediately. He was just about to ask for my number, I swear, when the big blackout of 2003 happened. In the mayhem, I didn't get to give him my number. I think the big blackout of 2003 is a good enough excuse to call him, don't you think? It's only common courtesy for me to check up on him, right? If I don't call, he's probably going to be all sad thinking I'm just not that into him. I remember the blackout, and it wasn't that serious. Dear Judy Blackout, the city blacked out. He didn't. You said you work for different branches of the same company. Certainly, he wouldn't have to break a sweat to scroll through the company staff roster or inter-office email listing to find you. And should he not be as resourceful as you are, I imagine that he has a mother, sister, or female friend that could show him how if he was really interested. P.S. Shame on you for using an Eastern Seaboard disaster as an excuse to call a guy up. Shame on you. Have faith. You made an impression. Leave it at that. If he likes you, he'll still remember you after the tsunami, flood, or Red Sox loss. If he doesn't, he's not worth your time. Know why? You're great. Now don't get cocky. And I'm going to leave it right here. So this book, I'm going to read it on the podcast page and provide updates as we move along in this journey. Thank you all for watching. Peace.